Hi, ho everyone. My name is Mr. Fruit and welcome to my totally normal office studio setup tour that is just a normal office and definitely not a medieval tavern. It's a medieval tavern. What's good? Welcome to the House Fruits. I don't really have a name for it yet, and you're probably thinking to yourself, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And you might be right. A lot of people said I was stupid for doing it, but I did it anyway. So checkmate, atheists, okay? I did it. As you can see here, we've got some nice wood trim going everywhere. We have plastered walls that tell stories, cracks, splatters, something. It's pretty dope. So I had this interior designer people help me with it all. Kind of came up with the rough concept, and then they figured out all the nitpicky stuff. They had this guy come in who's a faux artist who did like all the walls and stuff. Dude is insane. He even like did all the doors, as you can see here. Normal door, you would never know. Not normal door. We got some clavos. Even like painted on all this. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I would tell you my reasoning for this. Well, I've always wanted a medieval room or like a dungeon room or something. And I figured, hey, what the heck? We just moved. Got this nice big room for my office. I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself and put myself in a creative space. Now I come in here. It's like the old times. And I catch this dysentery and die of weird stuff all the time. It's great. Yeah, totally in a roleplay. So as you can see here, we have a fireplace and a mantle, and it actually works. It's a working fireplace. I have the remote somewhere. I think I can use it to just show flames and not activate heat or activate heat. Okay, apparently I didn't put batteries in the remote. Ha ha! Hello! Yeah, so it's supposed to mainly be just for show. I already get hot enough. I do not need an extra heat source. I'm practically a fireplace in itself. We got a little banner thing here. I don't know what this is. Some magical device that shows images of things in real time. I don't get it. Got some candles. You guys have already seen this. This is, I don't have a name for it yet. You guys were coming up for a name. I don't think we've decided on anything. And it's made by Marlo Toledo, made in Spain. I guess they make like true to, scale and all that kind of stuff, swords. This is a Templar sword. Yeah, I don't know when I'll ever use it, but they're like, we could put a sword on the wall, and I'm like, we're gonna put a sword on the wall, and so I did. I also want to get like maybe like a little samurai sword and put it on top of the mantle. Then we have some shields, crests. This is a Spaniard. This is the flag of the New Orleans Saints. So then we have this door, which leads to the outside world, of course, into Narnia, or wherever we might be. You don't really know. That's supposed to be the mystery. And then we have this window. This is actually when I was designing the thing, this was the first thing I wanted. I was really excited about it. Currently, it's like done, but we're working on the lighting because the whole idea is I can turn the lights on, and then with the frosted stuff and everything, it'll simulate like daytime or nighttime or something. But if I can get this to work, so you can see the lights, not as bright as I would have liked though. So I'm figuring out how to fix that. But the idea is, well, that's like green. Yeah, like maybe it's a morning time or going crazy, and yeah, so working on it, but I really like this window and they did a really nice job with it. Speaking of which, we have ourselves a nice little barrel for barrel stuff that you do with barrels. They actually got this from, what was it, Jack Daniels? I think it was a Jack Daniels brewery place, whatever. So if I still open it, yeah, that still smells. It's not nearly as bad when they first brought it. You open that thing up, and I don't know if secondhand drunk is a thing, just from inhaling, but you could have. It smelled good warm, but it's a dope barrel. So I got that going for me. And I can store ale and other things inside of this. Yes, well, we have my tapestry. Now, you might be wondering, Kimal, penis, honey, what does that say? I don't know, but it's a dope tapestry. And it works because slight problem with doing this room was we took the carpet out, obviously, for the hardwood. And one of the best sound dampening tools is carpet. So because we took that out, sound dampening was kind of a bit of a problem. So we put up this tapestry because behind this tapestry, what's behind door number 1 is a window to the real outside world. Gross. I know. So they framed all that. We got a blackout shade just in case anyway. But then we put the tapestry here, a little bit of sound dampening. Also bonus points for looking sick. So that's mainly, we got a little bench here for all the patrons to sit at. You know, business isn't booming yet. We haven't had anyone come in yet. Maybe that's because we don't actually have any ale or anything. But you know what, it'll pick up soon. We got that. Obviously we got our table. Now, another reason also for doing the studio is because I've like unofficially announced it, but haven't like announced it. So GG Over Easy, the podcast, is coming back. Very soon actually. Hopefully first episode will be out. Well, the new episode will be out in like 2 weeks, hopefully. And then we'll go from there. I'll talk about that more later. But I also wanted to have a bit of a studio, kind of like a visual representation thing, to do the podcast in. Because Rob will be joining me, and we'll have Blue over Discord. But we'll have a little camera set up. Rob and I will be here during the podcast, and we'll have a nice little backsplash for it all. So that was part of it, and also to be able to do like different videos, like you guys saw the very riveting video of a man sits in a tavern for 10 minutes. Ideally, moving forward though, if I do come up with like little skits where I just want to do different videos and stuff, I have the space and specifically like a desk like this to be able to do something like that. So that was a big driving force there. And you might be curious why the chairs are set up like this. It doesn't make much sense. But if I put them on this side, then when I'm sitting at my desk, there's not much space, and the camera looks really weird picking up the back of these chairs and stuff. So that's just for the sake of art. Is this supposed to be polar bear rug? I don't know what else is white like this. It's fake, and you can't really see it, but there's a little ruffle right here. For the podcast and other stuff, I currently have we made a little tube going under it, feeding into the closet. And when I'm ready, I'll cut like a little slit in here, but there's XLR cables that'll come up. And so we can just wire through under the desk to the mics. So that way we're not having to string out cords back and forth every single time. And aesthetically, it doesn't look as cluttered. So that was a pretty cool thing that we were able to add to that though. The ceiling, you'll see this is also the next step we did to trying to solve the acoustic problems. We have acoustic panels all around this part of the ceiling, which definitely does help. You got the beams, the banisters, or whatever the heck you call them. I don't know, not a chandelier, a light
fixture.
A light fixture. Yeah, that's mainly it. Until we come to this, where your immersion is completely ruined, but typically you don't see this part of the wall, okay? So this is where the magic's made, my friends. I haven't really done a setup video in a while, so I'm gonna do a deep dive into all this. And in the description, I will try and do my best to literally link everything in the description. I'll do my best. If I do, there'll be Amazon affiliate links. I think I need to say that so that if you buy something through that link, I get like a little slice of the pie. I'd appreciate that. But we're gonna start with the chair. Now most people will be like, that doesn't look like an epic gamer chair. No, it's an epic, comfortable, ergonomic chair. Herman Miller embodied. Is it expensive? Yes. Do I regret it? No. Because here are the things you gotta invest the most in your life, okay? A mattress, a chair, and shoes. That's what you spend most of your time in. You spend a lot of time sleeping in bed, you need to be comfortable. You spend a lot of time sitting, you need to be comfortable. And if you're moving around, you need to be comfortable. You gotta make sure you're treating your body right, like sitting in a pillow. And it has such good lumbar support. Look at this, it's got like a little spine thing. Anyway, I'm not sponsored by them. That'd be sick. And this won't be an affiliate link, I don't think. But I'm sure most of you won't buy. This is, when I say expensive, I mean, it's expensive. But, greatest purchase I've ever made. Continuing forward, we have HyperX keyboard and mouse pad. Not for any specific reason. I'm not sponsored with HyperX or anything. They sent this to me with like Mortal Kombat or something. And so whenever someone sends me a new mechanical keyboard, I'm like, all right, cool. And then I just change them out. Before this, I had like the Logitech G810 or whatever it was. And before that, I had the Razer Black Widow. So I just keep going. But the one mouse, again, not sponsored, but the one mouse I would recommend everybody. This is the Razer Naga Trinity, I believe, but I essentially treat it like it's the Razer, what is it, Death Adder. I use that thing. What is this camera angle you're doing right now? Anyway, I used the Death Adder for like a solid 5 years until I would have just ran it into the ground. And I hit up Razer. I was like, yo, love your stuff. Would you mind sending me that? Yo, we got you. So they sent me this mouse. They're super dope. Literally would not recommend it. The thing about the Naga Trinity 2 is so you can click off the faceplates and they come with different faceplates. So for me, I don't like too much. I only go with 2 buttons, but you can get like a wheel or like the MMO one with like 20 different buttons. That's too much for me to process. My headphones, recently just changed them, and I know that was a big shock to everybody. They're literally like the same ones, just black. So before I had the Sennheiser HD 598, Ivory Edition. These are the Sennheiser HD 599 Special Edition. 1, I don't know what Special Edition. I don't know. 2, it's 1 number up. It goes from 598 to 599. I don't know why, but I couldn't find just 598 anymore or something. Maybe they stopped making them. I don't know. But this is literally it. And the reason I use these headphones is because it sounds stupid, but I have a very delicate head. She's laughing. It's true. I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with me. So I've tried a lot of like gaming headsets and all that kind of stuff. They just hurt my head. Like after like 30 minutes to an hour, like you can feel I start to get like a little headache. Like I notice them. But with these, again, not sponsored, Sennheiser, hey, hi, how are you? I could wear these 24/7. I'd be none the wiser. The nice thing too is, I think the 599s are supposed to be closed back, but they're still kind of airy. The 598s were open back. But when you put them on, super light. That's the biggest thing about them. And they leave like a little bit of space back here. So you don't feel like completely closed off, and they're not noise canceling. I don't want that. I don't want to be sitting here all day in like a weird little echo chamber. So yeah, and the sound quality is fantastic. And again, the biggest thing with me was I needed something comfortable. And I have yet to find anything better than those headphones. Moving on, we have my microphone, which I've gone through quite a few mics. This one is more recent. This is the Shure SM7B. Before this, I used the Rode NT1. Before that, I used the Audio-Technica 2035 or something. And then the Blue Snowball. I've been through quite a few. As far as the pickup pattern, it doesn't pick up as much white noise and background noise as the other ones would. And this was mainly a problem with my old computer. It sounded like a refrigerator at all times. I'm pretty sure I have tinnitus now because of it. But I have a new computer, which I'll show you soon. I'm excited to show you that. So that's not as important, but the quality is really nice. Plus, these will be the mics we'll be using for the podcast. They're just like the essential podcast mic. If you're looking for a good mic, you don't need to go this expensive. Like, I would recommend like the Rode NT1, or even just the Audio-Technica 2035, whichever the XLR one is. The sound quality is great. The problem with the Rode 2, I'll show you, is you need a lot of extra power. So because of that, you have to buy a lot of different accessories. Not the point though. The boom mic is the typical like Rode PSA 1 boom desktop arm thing. It's like what everyone uses. This is the first one I've ever bought, and I haven't changed it. I got this back when I started YouTube. It's still holding strong. The desk you also see is gigantic. It's an Evo desk. Again, not sponsored. The puppies chewed through the cables, and I haven't got any. So currently it's supposed to be a sit-stand desk, but yeah, it doesn't do that. And I've also not been too worried about sitting standing now because I've been exercising so much and I've been moving around that it's not like, you know, a thought always in my mind like, I'm gonna die from blood clots. Still a possibility, but I would prefer to avoid that. But the desk is actually too big because I'm able to now wall mount my monitors, but previously I had them sitting on my desk. So I mean the stand would come out to like here, and then I would need my audio equipment and stuff. So the desk was cluttered, so I needed this much space. But now with the new setup, it's awkward. I have too much space. So looking to figure out how that all works. Also, my ergonomic desk setup, if you guys didn't know, let me school you here if you want to be comfortable and also not have some long-lasting effects on your body, okay? You're gonna wanna start with a 90-degree, first off, feet flat on the ground, okay? Then you want your knees at a 90-degree, possibly a little bit more like 100 degrees. You know, your thighs maybe a little bit above your knees, but for the most part, 90 degrees. Then once you're at your desk, you want your elbow to be at 90 degrees, right? And then the monitors, the top of the monitor should be about eye level with you. And all that leads to an ergonomic desk setup. And I actually looked into this one because I was worried I was gonna die of blood clots, but also back problems and all this kind of stuff. So I was looking into it and my neck was starting to strain. You do all this, you're gonna be freaking set, man, okay? So when next time you go to your doctor and you don't have to worry about this, say like, you know what? This is for you, Mr. Fruit. So remember that. Over here, because she is obsessed with this thing that I'm so low to the ground. It's ergonomic. I've been like this for years, and for some reason just now she's noticing that I'm so low to the ground. But who's laughing when I don't have back issues, knee issues, any of that stuff from sitting, okay? So anyway, I now have a 2 PC setup, which I will be showing you guys. And because of that, I'm using this USB splitter, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, I can click this button, and then my mouse and keyboard swap to one computer. I click it again, and it swaps to the other. There's no latency. I made sure because the thing was like, if I'm playing the video games, I need to make sure my game is up to par. I can't have no input lag. As far as I can tell, no input lag. We're good to go there, because a lot of the problems people have is like with a 2 PC setup, they also have to have this little extra mouse and keyboard to the side to do stuff. I was like, I ain't doing that. So that's been really helpful. Obviously my 2 monitors, I've been using these for a while. They're the ASUS ROG PQ248 or something. They're the 1080, 144 hertz G-Sync monitors. I don't turn G-Sync on because it breaks everything when you try and record. But those are the monitors, super happy with those. Now we move over to my video camera, my webcam, quote unquote, that you see in all my videos. Canon Vixia HF-G40. It's a Canon camcorder. Records 1080, 60 frames, real nice too. I just set this up with power supply, so it never turns off, and then I go from a mini HDMI to an HDMI into the Elgato Cam Link, and my computer treats it as a webcam. Super easy. You can use it in OBS and all that kind of stuff. You can use anything. A lot of people use like DSLRs, or you can do any of that kind of stuff. I just really like this one. Easy to use, easy to set up, manage, all that kind of stuff. I don't have to worry about image burning out like on DSLRs and that kind of stuff. So we got that. And as far as, and then my lights, this is a newer edition. Before, you'll see in my closet, I was using box lights, but these are the Elgato key lights. I mainly needed these because for the first time, my desk is against a wall. Previously, it's always been like in the middle of a room or something, never against anything. So I needed something flat for my lights. And the Elgato key lights are great for that. They're actually really dope. Super easy to set up. Again, not sponsored. If any of the brands are watching this video, hit me up. Yeah, so Elgato key lights. We recommend those. I mean, they do a lot of the streamer gear and setup and that kind of stuff if you want to look into all that. The wall brackets for the TVs, just ones that work for the monitors, nothing fancy there. Da, 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 da. The closet, wow. It's a closet. So first off, you notice these are the softbox lights I used up until the key lights. I don't even know what they are. I bought them at some local camera store 5 years ago or something. They've been great. The light bulbs have never even gone out. It blows my mind. Every day I turn them on, I'm like, this is the day that they burn out, and they don't. I don't get it. Recently acquired this microphone. This is what I used for the Man Sits in a Tavern for 10 Minutes video. It's a shotgun mic. It is the Audio Technica, I don't know. I'll probably have a link down below, but it's a pretty cool shotgun mic. Or super cardioid, but essentially it's a shotgun mic, I think. I don't really know. I was looking a lot into it, and it was very complicated. But let's start off with the most exciting thing in this room, my brand new PC. I sponsored with Zydax, and these guys hooked me up with this sick PC. It's actually 2 PCs in one tower. I wish I had a banana for scale. This thing is literally, it's massive. They even got my little logo there. But these guys, so you can't really tell on the back, but I mean this thing, I'll try and put all the specs down below in the description box so you guys can see just what a monster it is. But essentially I wanted to, a lot of like streamers like to do 2 PC setups so they can have a gaming PC and a streaming PC. I don't stream that much obviously, but I'm looking to do gaming PC, recording PC, because a lot of the times I run into a lot of issues too on gaming PCs when it's one system where like just something blows something up, or like some weird non-optimized game is doing this, or some driver, these things don't want to talk to each other anymore. But I spend way too much time troubleshooting this a lot of the times. So instead, I can just game on my PC, run it at max, whatever I want, enjoy it while I'm playing it, and then record in the best possible quality on a separate computer, and don't have to worry about any of that weird stuff. Just capture that thing. We good to go. But it took a little bit of setting up to do this, because it was kind of complicated, because the audio stuff, listen, I like to think I'm a little tech savvy. Well, there's like tech, and then there's audio equipment. It doesn't translate at all. I don't get it. So I had some help from a friend named Mike. And on top of that, I troubleshooted for far too long. But essentially, what I needed to do, a lot of streamers also like to do 2 PC setup so that they can take all the audio into like a mixer and then put it all into their stream and they can control all of it individually, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to do that. I'm looking to record things all on separate audio tracks, because when I edit, I like to have the different audio tracks so I can mess or change volume or do whatever I need to with each one individually rather than having them all in a master track. And so on my one PC setup, I was using a virtual audio cable. But with this, I was trying to figure out, how do I get everything? Essentially, I needed Discord audio, game audio, and my mic all on different lines, while also being able to monitor all of them, need be, with a podcast. So like when Rob and I are out there, we need to hear ourselves, our mics, to check that, you know, quality's all good. And at the same time, we need to hear Blue through Discord. And you'd be like, oh, that's easy. You know, it's just 2 things, right? But it's so much more complicated than that. So essentially, I'll try and briefly describe. I'm sure some of you don't really care all that much, the nitty gritty. But I have the mics, which would be the podcast mics that'll go up there, as well as mine. They feed over here. And then the cables, the reason I was talking about the Shure SM7B is a little difficult because you need extra accessories. Well, you need some extra power. So the Shure plugs into this newer Phantom power supply, which literally does what it says. It adds some power to the mic line. And then that outputs into the cloud lifter, which again is a mic activator, also gives it extra power, which then plugs into my Yamaha MG10XU. I've had this thing for a while. Really, really dope audio mixer. But essentially, that mic feeds into here, and you need all that extra power because technically I could just do it with the Yamaha, but I would have to crank up and use all the power and the preamps in the mixer, and if you stress it too much, you're not going to get as good of quality and all that kind of stuff, and you run some different risks. So I didn't want to bother with that. You plug all that here, and then with my mixer, I am able to adjust like compression, highs, lows. I usually don't mess with too much of it. These will be podcast mics and whatnot. These are, so this is the monitor out, which goes to my headphones. So if I turn this on, I'll be able to hear myself talking, so I can check. Otherwise, I have the stereo outputs going into my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 Gen 2. I've had the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 since I've started, but I had to switch to the second gen because the first gen has some weird glitches and stuff with audio. So I put the stereo mixes left, right into the two outputs rather than just one, and it lets me control both. And then the Focusrite plugs into my PC, and this acts as the sound card. So this is what picks up all of the mic audio that I record with. That goes into the PC. Bada bing, bada boom. It'll be the same for the podcast and whatnot. And you can technically use this directly as a sound card, but I found better luck and some better sound quality going to the Focusrite end in there. So there's a whole daisy chain of stuff right there that's a little complicated, but that's essentially how the audio is set up. And then audio, I have the line out from both my PCs going into this stereo mini mix. So this was the difficult part. This is how I hear all my audio in my headphones. So on this stereo output, on 1, I have one PC, on 2, I have another PC, and then on 3, I have the monitor outs, which you guys may or may not be able to see. You can see there, left, right, input for each of those. And then I'm not using this for an output at all or anything. I'm literally just doing it to monitor with my headphone. So I have my headphones connected there. And this lets me hear all the systems at once without needing any extra software or anything. A problem a lot of people have with like 2 PC setup if they don't do it correctly is like they can't hear their gaming PC unless, you know, Elgato or OBS is open on their other computer and all this kind of stuff. This, no matter which PC is on, no matter anything, I can hear everything all at once. It's really convenient. And that was a real headache because I had to go through a whole bunch of stuff to troubleshoot that. But that's how I hear everything out of my headphones, and then how we'll be able to hear things when we're doing the podcast. I also have additional cloud lifters and phantom power supplies up here, but these are for the podcast mics. Down here, well, we have like a little power outlet thing. But here is the Netgear Nighthawk Pro gaming router, which is actually the one I did a sponsored video on. But I'm using it. We got a Cat 5e running through the wall, connecting here, and I have CenturyLink fiber. So connect here, and then out from here, I have 2 Ethernets going to the PC, and then I'll have Ethernets going to like gaming consoles and stuff when I want to set those all up. But that was really convenient. Works really well. When I did that sponsored video, I wasn't lying. It's actually pretty good. Over here is a whole bunch of extra cords and stuff, a lot of the podcast stuff that I don't need to set up right now. My PlayStation, I'll set up my Xbox, my Nintendo Switch is back there. We got another outlet. And then, well, pretty much, as you can see here, it's just a wiry mess of wires. Everything's tangled. But I got a whole bunch of stuff coming in and out. Everything's mainly connected up to here. As for the back of the PC, literally, so this is my gaming PC, and the only things I have plugged into it are my mouse and keyboard, Ethernet, DisplayPort, HDMI, and then that audio that goes to the mixer. So Ethernet's pretty obvious, mouse and keyboard pretty obvious, that's my sound. DisplayPort is what I use to go to my monitor, and then the HDMI, this is how you do the 2 PC setup. The HDMI feeds from the graphics card into the Elgato 4K HD Pro that's inside the streaming and recording PC. You put that in as the input for the Elgato, and then you do an output to a monitor. And then on your recording PC, you capture the HDMI out monitor, which is cloned from the first one. But I'm not here to do a whole guide on you, okay? It took a while. And if I can't really explain it, it'll just be confusing. Needless to say, that's kind of how you do it. And then everything else is connected to here. All my different accessories, like the cam link, my mouse and keyboards, audio stuff, all that good stuff. And then the best part too about this PC, you hear that? Nothing. It's nearly silent. Had I known that, originally I wanted to do this whole setup in like a different room so I could, well, it's still nice that I can keep everything out of the room, but also the noise, like I said, my previous computer was driving me crazy. Had I known that, I could have this out here and I wouldn't even know. This thing is just silent, and I love it. And it's crazy because there's 2 PCs in here, super powerful. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. So, Zydex, big thanks to them. Check the link down in the description box below to check those dudes out. They make super dope custom PCs. I've done a lot of things. I bought manufacturer default systems. I've built my own systems, and I've even gotten another company to build my system. And I gotta tell you, Zydex made it the easiest. Building your own system you can do, but it frustrated me because like I would try and get it to post, and Lord knows some pin in the motherboard's incorrect, so I got to send it back, wait a week, do this, come back. Especially when I was trying to make content, it was frustrating because I was like out of commission for so long, waiting for all these things. It was driving me crazy. With this, they send this thing. I mean, you saw it. I don't even know how they configured this thing. It's like alien technology with all this cooling systems and stuff as well. Like, it's beyond me. But yeah, I would definitely recommend to at least go check them out. See if you're interested, or in the future, if you're looking for a system. I mean, it doesn't have to be as crazy as this. This is like, this is run a NASA kind of stuff. You don't need this. But if you want to check it out, go check out Zydex. I appreciate them hooking me up. They've been really nice to work with. And as for the rest of it, I think that's mainly it. Close off the outer world and go back to our safe place. And that's my Medieval Tavern and my setup. It was like twofold. I know some of it was just seeing the tavern, and then a lot of it was all my specs and hardware, but I never really did an in-depth just like setup tour with my specs and hardware and stuff. So I know a lot of people wanted that, so I figured what's a better time than right now to bang out both of them. I'm super happy with the room. It's so nice to be in here, especially compared to what I've always been doing. And I know like the typical thing is like just get some sound foam and some RGB lights. That's what gamers do. I guess I'm not a gamer. Or I just wanted to do something different. I wasn't doing it for the sake of being different, but like genuinely this is when I was like, I could do anything with the room. What would I want to do? This was literally my first thought. So I got it done. I'm so happy. It was a long process and a lot of construction and all that kind of stuff. Because we also, like I mentioned, this goes out to the street. So they also added like a second layer of drywall on this side, so you can't even like hear the street. We gotta close now though. Okay, it's closing time. Last call or whatever. So get out. Get. I said get.